Hello friends, welcome to Kamath Astrology, and today in this video I will cover an important story which tells us how Sadesati begins and how it impacts our life. So to illustrate this, I will tell you the story of Shani and King Vikramaditya. This story is also known as Shani Mahatmya, which refers to the greatness of Saturn or Shanidev, the Lord of Justice. Listening to this story on Saturday is said to give great relief from the malefic effects of anyone undergoing a bad Sadesati. It also illustrates that the effects that we face during Sadesati, namely the bad effects, are the results of our own past karma, and Saturn either rewards us or punishes us during this Sadesati, thereby dissolving that karma. Om Sri Krishnaya Namaha. So long time ago, the kingdom of Ujjain was ruled by a great king called Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya was very famous for his sense of justice, and in our childhood we have heard the story of Vikram and Betal. Okay, and there was a popular serial in the 80s on Vikram and Betal. So I am referring to the same king Vikramaditya and his encounter with Shani, the Lord of Justice. So in Vikramaditya's court, there were many important ministers, priests who had great knowledge. And once Vikramaditya was asked who is the most powerful planet among the 9 planets. So Vikramaditya consulted his council of ministers, and each minister had a different opinion. The first minister said that among the 9 planets, the sun is the greatest planet because sun gives us light. Sun is the source of existence on this earth, and therefore sun should be accorded the highest status. Another minister said, I do not agree with this. The moon is the most important because the moon represents the mind, and the moon adorns the head of Shiva, and therefore moon represents auspiciousness, emotions, and water, and therefore moon is the most important. The next minister said, it is neither the sun nor the moon, but Mars is the most important planet because Mars represents aggression, the fire within us, the fighting spirit within us, and our Ichha Shakti, that is our willpower. And without our willpower, we cannot achieve anything. So Mars is the most important planet. The next minister said, I do not agree. It is Mercury who is the most important planet because Mercury represents intellect and our ability to take wise decisions. So without Mercury, we can never be on the right path. We can never take right decisions. And therefore, it is Mercury who is the most important. Also, Mercury never harms anyone. The next minister said, how can you say Mercury is the most important planet? We have Jupiter who represents knowledge, who represents divinity, who represents optimism, who is the guru of Devas himself. So Jupiter is the most learned and the most significant planet. Wherever Jupiter sits in the horoscope, he signifies expansion, and therefore Jupiter is the most important planet. The next minister said, even though Jupiter signifies knowledge, he signifies higher learning, he signifies education, he signifies spirituality, without Venus, all this is useless because Venus signifies love. Venus is also known as Shukra, who has the knowledge of Sanjivani Mantra, which can even restore the dead to life. And therefore, Venus is the most important planet because Venus gives us wealth, love, luxury, and pleasure. The next minister said that Rahu is the most important planet because Rahu has the ability to create intense troubles for anyone in his Mahadasha. Rahu signifies cunningness, he signifies deception, he signifies illusion, and therefore Rahu is very powerful. So, Rahu must be the most important. The next minister said, no, it is not Rahu, it should be Ketu because Ketu signifies detachment. Ketu takes you away from the world and he takes you closer to God. The last minister said that among all the 9 planets, Shani is the most powerful. Vikramaditya had never heard much about Shani and he said, what is so special about Shani Dev? So the minister said, Shani Dev is the son of Surya and Chaya, and when Shani was born, he cast his aspect on his father and immediately his father suffered from bad health. The sun's chariot stopped, and only when Shani Dev removed his drishti, the chariot started moving again. The minister said that when Shani Dev puts his bad drishti on anyone, that person suffers a lot in life, and therefore Shani is a planet which has to be accorded the highest respect. Now Vikramaditya started laughing loudly when he heard this, and he made a very derogatory statement. He made a statement of what use is a planet which causes difficulties and troubles to his own father. And Vikramaditya vainfully said that I feel such a planet should not be given any respect. Now, unfortunately, when Vikramaditya made this statement, he was extremely overcome by his own pride. And also at this very point in time, Shani Dev was flying over the city of Ujjain, seated on his vehicle, the crow. Shani Dev got very angry and he appeared in the court of Vikramaditya, and he told Vikramaditya that without really understanding my role, how are you making such a judgment and placing me in the lowest category of planets? I have been assigned the role of doing justice by Lord Shiva himself, and how can you say that Lord Shiva is wrong in his decision? You have truly not understood my role in life. However, instead of apologizing, Vikramaditya said, I do not agree with you, and you are definitely not a significant planet. On hearing this, Shani Dev was very angry, and Shani Dev told him that your moon sign is Kanya Rashi or Virgo, and within the next 6 months, I am going to enter into the sign just before your moon sign, and when this starts, you will truly understand my role in everybody's life, and you will also understand that I can never do anything wrong with anyone. And so saying, Shani Dev went away from the court of Vikramaditya. Many months passed by and Vikramaditya almost forgot this incident. Vikramaditya had a great weakness. He was very fond of horses and he would like to ride different types of horses. So many a times, different horse traders would come to the kingdom of Ujjain and try to sell the best of horse breeds to Vikramaditya. And if the horse was indeed nice, Vikramaditya would pay the horse owner a handsome amount and take the custody of the horse. Now almost 6 months had passed post the incident between Shani and Vikramaditya, and one day a person came disguised as a horse trader in Ujjain. This person showed Vikramaditya different kinds of horses, as Vikramaditya was very fond of horses, and he pointed out to a black horse in particular. and he said that this is one of the best horses that I have. It rides with extreme speed and it can take you anywhere you want. Vikramaditya said, I must try riding this horse, and he got on to that horse. Now, as soon as Vikramaditya climbed on the horse just started running away, and it was running at tremendous speed. So, Vikramaditya could not also get down from the horse, and the horse ran so fast that it moved quickly out of the city of Ujjain, and it crossed several forests, mountains, and rivers, and it came to a deserted land and threw Vikramaditya off its back. Vikramaditya fell from the horse. He could not understand what was happening. He looked around and he saw a deserted place which was full of mountains and cactuses. Vikramaditya could not understand what to do. It had already become evening and very soon it was going to be night. He decided to spend the night in that place. And the next morning he got up and tried to find a way which would lead him to a city or a village. Fortunately, he found a way, and that way led him straight to a city. Now, what Vikramaditya didn't know that the city he was entering into was ruled by a king called Chandrasen, who was a great enemy of Vikramaditya, because Vikramaditya had earlier defeated him in a battle, and King Chandrasen therefore did not like Vikramaditya. As Vikramaditya wandered into this city, it was early in the morning, okay, and a jeweler was opening his shop. Vikramaditya just stood outside that shop. The jeweler noticed him, and on that particular day, the jeweler had lot of sales. So the jeweler thought that Vikramaditya is very auspicious for him, because when he was standing outside his shop, many people came and purchased ornaments from him. So he thought that this person is very auspicious for me, and he took Vikramaditya with him to his home. Vikramaditya, however, did not reveal to him his real identity. The jeweler asked Vikramaditya to stay with them, and in a few days he decided to allow Vikramaditya to also work with him. So he found that Vikramaditya was very hardworking, and he did almost all the tasks that were given to him. Now the jeweler developed some kind of fancy for Vikramaditya. The jeweler had a daughter, and he thought that this person is the right match for my daughter. So the jeweler asked his daughter whether she likes Vikramaditya. The daughter said, I first need to test him, and only then, if I find him suitable, will I marry him. The jeweler also owned a small art gallery, okay, and at night there was a room where many people would sleep in that art gallery on beds. So the daughter of this jeweler decided to test Vikramaditya. She dressed herself very beautifully, and she had a very precious necklace in her neck, and she went into the art gallery where Vikramaditya was almost about to sleep. On seeing her, Vikramaditya pretended that he was asleep because he did not want to talk to her at that time in the night. Now, this daughter of the jeweler could not understand whether Vikramaditya was awake or asleep. So what she did is, she went on a bed next to him and she also slept. But before sleeping, she kept her necklace near a portrait. Okay, that portrait was the portrait of a swan. And this portrait was located just behind the bed of Vikramaditya. And she went to sleep. Vikramaditya was still awake, and he just got up And when he got up, what he saw, the swan from the picture emerged as a real swan, took the necklace and swallowed it and went back into the picture. Now, this is something unbelievable. No one could believe this, right? Now, Vikramaditya did not pay much attention to this and he also went to sleep. Next day, when the jeweller's daughter got up, she found that her necklace was missing. And since she had kept the necklace on the portrait just behind Vikramaditya's bed, she accused Vikramaditya of theft. The jeweler also got very angry and he told Vikramaditya, "Is this the way you repay me? I took good care of you. I gave you a job. I gave you good money. And I also decided to give you my daughter in marriage. But you seem to have been only greedy and behind wealth, and you have stolen the necklace of my daughter." Vikramaditya said, "I have not done anything. Yesterday night, a swan came out of that portrait. It swallowed the necklace and went back into the portrait." Now, everyone present started laughing. "Do you think we are fools?" They said, "We will take you to the king." And they took him before King Chandrasen. When King Chandrasen saw him, he was dressed as an ordinary worker, and therefore King Chandrasen could not make out that he was King Vikramaditya. So King Chandrasen told him, "Admit your guilt and I shall forgive you. Return the necklace to the jeweler and I shall make sure that you are not punished." But Vikramaditya said, "I have not done anything wrong. How can I return something which I have not stolen? It was the swan who came out of the picture, swallowed the necklace and went back into the picture." Now King Chandrasen was really angry. He said, "Do you think we are fools and you deserve a very severe punishment?" So he ordered his guards to break Vikramaditya's hands and legs and throw him outside the village into a bush full of thorns. And they did exactly this. They broke his limbs, they broke both his arms, and Vikramaditya was thrown outside the kingdom into a thorny bush. He laid there wailing in pain. King Chandrasen ordered that no one should give him any water, any food to eat, any kind of help. Vikramaditya laid there for many days, writhing in pain. Even though Vikramaditya was a great warrior, definitely when your limbs are broken, when your hands are broken, you are going to feel aggravating pain. And that was what was happening to Vikramaditya, and no one dared to help him because King Chandrasen had prohibited anyone from helping him. However, after few days, a woman was passing by that place, and she was the daughter of a person who used to sell oil in the kingdom of Ujjain many years ago. So she could recognize that this face looks like King Vikramaditya, and she approached him and asked him, "How come you are lying here outside, writhing in pain? I think you are King Vikramaditya." He told the woman, "Yes, I am King Vikramaditya," and then he told her the whole story from the purchase of the horse to how he had reached that place and what kind of punishment he had got. The woman felt pity for King Vikramaditya, and she was not a citizen of Chandrasen's kingdom. So she decided to take Vikramaditya with her to her father's place. They had the business of extracting oil. Vikramaditya told her not to reveal his identity to her father, and she did not reveal his identity to her father. Her father told, "I will take care of this man provided he helps us extracting some oil with the help of bullocks." And so Vikramaditya would help them in extracting oil every day with the help of few bullocks. The days of Vikramaditya continued in the same way. He would help her father extract oil by rotating the bullocks. Okay, and this continued for a few years. Vikramaditya was slowly recovering, but his limbs as well as both his hands were still damaged and he could do a limited amount of work. Now, as he was working, one day he started singing something called as the Deepak Rag. Now, this song was so beautiful that when he sung it, all the lamps in the kingdom lit up automatically. His sweet voice reached the ears of King Chandrasen's daughter. So King Chandrasen's daughter noticed that when this person is singing, all the lamps are automatically lighting, and when he stops singing, the lamps go off. So she decided to bring him to the kingdom. And soon she fell in love with him, and she told King Chandrasen that I will marry only this person who sings so beautifully. By this time, King Vikram's Sadesati had come to an end, that is almost 7.5 years had passed, and Shani's transit across his natal moon was about to end. Shani now appeared before Vikramaditya, and Vikramaditya by now had become completely humble. He fell at the feet of Shani and asked him for forgiveness. And he said that I now truly understand your role in this universe. You are indeed the Lord of Justice. However, I have only one request to make of you, that let no one ever suffer so much pain during your transit as I have suffered today. Shani said, I am very pleased with you. You could have asked for many things such as restoration of your limbs, your hands, great amount of wealth. But you only asked for the boon that no one should suffer as much as you have suffered, which shows that you have great concern for the citizens and people of your country as well as other countries. You have great concern for others. And so Shani was very pleased. Shani then told Vikramaditya that everyone, however big or small he is, however powerful or influential he is, during Sadesati, he has to face the consequences of his past karmas. So, Shani told him that there are people who have suffered much more than you. And he told him one more story about Guru Brihaspati. He said that Guru Brihaspati is the Guru of Devas. Okay, and I was going to transit across his natal moon. I informed Brihaspati that I am going to enter into the sign just before your natal moon. Brihaspati said, please do not enter. I told Guru Brihaspati that I have great respect for you. You are the Guru of Devas. So you are also my teacher. But I have to do my duty. Guru said, you cannot enter for 7.5 years. Shani said, at least allow me to enter for 5 years. And finally, this period was settled for 7 hours. Okay. Now, Brihaspati thought, what will happen in 7 hours? He went to a forest and he thought, I will do some meditation here. By that time, 7 hours will pass by and nothing will happen. Now, as Brihaspati was meditating, a man selling watermelons appeared before him. The watermelons looked very reddish and Brihaspati was feeling very thirsty. So he purchased those watermelons and he put them in a bag which he had. At the same time, some people came searching for a particular prince. And when they saw this bag, they saw some blood coming out of that bag. So they thought that Brihaspati had killed the prince and they took him before the king. When they opened the bag, they found a severed head in the bag instead of a watermelon. Brihaspati was shocked and the king was very upset, thinking that his son had been killed. So he immediately ordered that this man be put to death. Now Brihaspati was a bit tense, but he understood that this is really the effect of Shanidev. And so Brihaspati thought that if I am able to delay this drama for some time, then I will pass out safely. So, as he was being taken to the place of execution, Brihaspati told the executioners, I will give you a lot of money. Just give me some time. Let me remain alive for another few hours. The executioners agreed. And as it happened, time passed by and 7 hours had passed. And suddenly, the king's sons, that is the princes, came back to the kingdom. And now the king was ashamed of himself because he thought that this priest had killed his children. The king sought for forgiveness from Brihaspati. Brihaspati told him, do not grieve, this is the Maya of Shanidev. Shani then asked Brihaspati for forgiveness, but he told him that he had to give him the results of his past karma. Similarly, Shanidev told him another story where he was about to enter into the moon sign of Lord Shiva. Similar to Brihaspati, Lord Shiva also negotiated with Shani and asked for a day. Shiva went into the holy city of Kashi and he went underneath a river, that is the river Ganga, and he started meditating there. After the day passed, Lord Shiva came out of the river and Shanidev was waiting there. Shiva then told Shanidev that nothing happened and you said something would happen. Shanidev said, what had to happen has already happened. You have spent a day under the river and you are the god of this universe, and that itself signifies my power. He asked Vikramaditya then, ask for another boon. Vikramaditya said, I don't want anything. I have learnt my lesson. Only promise me that the kind of suffering that I have undergone, no one else will undergo during your Sadesati. Shani was very pleased. And Shani not only restored the hands and limbs of Vikramaditya, but he returned back his kingdom to him. King Chandrasen also agreed to give his daughter in marriage to Vikramaditya. And therefore it is said that when Shani blesses you with something, it remains with you for eternity. And when he tries to take away something from you, he tries to punish you. The punishment is severe enough to burn away all your past karmas. This story which I narrated is also known as Shani Mahatma. Okay, and it signifies the greatness of Shanidev, the god of justice. So Shani rewards us for our good karmas and punishes us for our bad karmas during the Sadesati period or during the Shani Mahadasha. And no one, however powerful, however influential he is, can escape this cycle of justice. Now let me correlate this with real life examples which are still happening today. I had a very good friend, okay? He was into a very good job. He was doing very well in his job. But what happened was, he felt that somehow he was not getting a proper increment, not getting a proper promotion. Okay, and he was a bit dissatisfied. And he decided to change his job. Just at that point in time, Sadesati had started. Okay, so Sadesati generally starts by making you feel dissatisfied with something which you already have. Okay, and then you tend to look for something new. So as fate would have, this fellow got a very good job offer. The salary was very good. Okay, he got tempted. He switched the job. And when he entered into his new job, he was in for a shock. He found that the boss whom he had got was a very strange kind of person. He used to make him slog the whole day, exploit him completely. And this continued for many years. Now, even if he tried to get out of this situation, he was unable to get out of this situation and he had to suffer. Okay, and this suffering continued for a very long time. But during this course of suffering, this fellow learnt many new skills, he learnt many new technologies, he upgraded himself, and finally, at the end of 7.5 years, he got an excellent job offer and he quit that place. And thereon, he was doing very well in his life. But those 7.5 years were extremely strenuous, extremely stressful for him. So, in a way, Sadesati exposes you to those kind of people who will put you through intense stress, intense pressure. Okay? But if you are able to do the hard work in this period, if you are able to face all these challenges and come out successfully, then life becomes a golden opportunity for you, because what Shanidev gives you at the end, no one can take away from you. So if you relate this story, it is similar to the story where Vikram got attracted to the horse. He sat on the horse and the horse took him away somewhere very far. Okay, so in this case, the horse took him away to a different job. Okay, and in that place, in that unknown place, unknown environment, he suffered lot of stress. He went through lot of trials. He even got accused of cheating, stealing. Okay, but still he was able to come out of it because he learned to become humble. He learned to face the challenges and he learned never to give up. So in short, Sadesati or Shani Mahadasha is a period which molds you completely and transforms you into a different person. It also exposes you to different situations, to different trials, which reveal the real face of people whom you are surrounded by. Okay, they really tell you who are your friends, who are your enemies, who are your well-wishers. So Sadesati gives complete exposure. It tells you the truth of life as it is. It tells you the truth of people surrounding you, the truth of your environment. It also tells you that things can change just within a fraction of a second. It shows you your own karma and it tells you that you always have to pay for your own karma. So this is the greatness of Shanidev and Sadesati, which transforms you into an entirely different person. By the end of Sadesati, most people are completely transformed and become better human beings. So friends, if you like this video, please mark it as liked on YouTube. To know more about us, visit our website astroseva.tripod.com. For any consultation, any queries, please email us at astrosevaworld@yahoo.com and we'll be glad to assist you. So friends, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon shortly with another video. Till then, bye. Take care. Stay safe.